Tell us about the work you're doing with AARP. What is
Yeah,
happening?
I am really excited. I'm pleased to have partnered with AARP, the AARP Foundation, and the United Health Foundation. It's called Connect2Affect. And what that is, it's all about social isolation. And given the fact that we have been apart from each other for over a year, and all of the impact, talk about trauma, that this intense, forced social isolation had. AARP Foundation and United Health Foundation came together, involved me as their spokesperson and partner. They created it's a really quick 3-minute quiz. All of this is free. There are tools. Yeah, I know, free is really exciting.
I love
And
free.
there are resources on the website that will at connect to number two, and we'll make sure that people connect2affect.org. But there are resources, there are tools, there are people that you can go on a chat with. If you're isolated, you're depressed. And so, Karen, there are a couple of statistics I want to share because they kind of blew my mind. Do you know that smoking 15 cigarettes a day and obesity, which are two, things that impact all communities, but certainly the Black and Brown community, social isolation is worse on our physical and emotional health. This is research. This isn't Dr. Robin making something up. Than obesity and regularly smoking 15 cigarettes a day. So that means being separated. It really costs us a lot in our bodies, in our minds, in our spirits. And so the partnership with AARP Foundation and United Healthcare is to address not only for 50 plus, older adults, but for any age. So it may be you who are struggling with being alone and feeling like you don't have any person or place to turn, or it may be someone could be a neighbor. Maybe you live next door to an older adult and you can knock on their door, say, you know what, I'm going to use my phone or my tablet. Let's go and do this social isolation. And I think what will also surprise us is not only are older adults ranking high, but so are young people, because
Mm,
we have been broken by this pandemic. If you think about, we were born attached, literally attached to the umbilical cord, and then that's cut. So there is this sense of separateness and connection. So we go from complete connection to separateness and connection. This pandemic took the connection away. It stripped us without any preparation, and in many ways, and we talked about this on your show, and without any leadership about how we were going to navigate this, survive this, and again, particularly in Latino communities and the Black community, we were hit harder. There were more deaths. We know that. And the depression, anxiety, and overwhelm are something that hit our communities even larger and even larger numbers than for white communities. So this partnership is really about serving all communities, but particularly people who are aware that they need a touch. They need a touch, and this is about how to have a touch, and particularly given reentry, the vaccines are happening and more cities and states and towns where people are being vaccinated. But I said in an interview yesterday, we need to be aware that reentry, I mean, it's like a marriage where you weren't close before the pandemic, you're thrown together, kind of barely made it, maybe you didn't make it, and now it's time to resume life. Well, do we just re-enter as if the trauma never happened? See, that's the problem with race, that if you want somebody to, well, let's hope that the verdict will be a just verdict in the killing of George Floyd. But if that verdict comes as people believe the law would mandate, does that mean that all Black people and white people and others who are, for justice should just be like, wow, well, if that happened, like, we're really in a good place now? No, we're not. No, we're not. And so this AARP Foundation initiative is about creating support as we re-enter life. How do we do that? In what ways do we do that? Places where there were no masks, and then other places where people are still wearing masks regardless of their vaccinations. It's like, how do we re-enter our lives? And so AARP is creating a system, and the United Health Foundation to support people with re-entry as well.
I took the test during the break, and it is Connect2Affect, AFFECT.org.